We continue with SEC Media Days coverage here on this Tuesday afternoon from Hoover, Alabama. Mississippi State came through a little while ago, and we're going to talk about the Bulldogs here for a couple of minutes. You know, when people think about the SEC West, they talk about Alabama, they talk about Auburn, they talk about LSU. Maybe they should be talking about Mississippi State as well. Dan Mullen feels like he's got a championship caliber team. He's got almost complete units returning as starters on both offense and defense from last year. So they're pretty loaded from the standpoint of experience. In fact, they've got 15 returning starters on offense, guys who started at least one game last year, and 15 returning starters on defense because of so many injuries last year. They had a bunch of different people in and out of the starting lineup. So it gives them a great deal of experience on both sides. This is a team that went to a bowl game last year and won it. They've been to 4 straight bowl games under Mullen. They're dominating their in-state rival, Ole Miss, right now, so things are going very well. They will open up an expanded stadium this season when they play their first game at home against Southern Miss, so they're very excited about what they're doing in Mississippi State as far as adding on to their facilities. They've got a quality quarterback returning in Dak Prescott. He is a terrific running quarterback. He leads all returning SEC quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns in his career with 17, had 13 rushing touchdowns last year. He's got a terrific wide receiver to throw to in Jamian Lewis. He was one of the leading receivers in the SEC last season with 64 catches, so he's got a terrific target there. You know, offensively, last year, Mississippi State pretty much in the middle part of the SEC in passing and rushing. So they weren't great, but they weren't awful. Defensively, they were pretty good. They were in the upper quarter of the SEC in defense last year, so they're pretty good there. And they've got a couple of standout returners on defense in Chris Jones and also in Benardrick McKinney. McKinney, the outstanding linebacker, and Jones, the outstanding defensive lineman. So I really think there's reason for real optimism in Starkville. And can they knock off the other big boys in the West and put themselves in position to win the West and play for the SEC championship? Well, they kind of feel like they can do that. They kind of feel like they have that kind of team that can make some noise in the West. And as I check their schedule, they get Texas A&M at home. They get Auburn at home. They do have to play at Alabama, and they do have to play at Ole Miss. So kind of a split deal there as far as the tough road games. Oh, and they have to go to LSU. So, you know, of course, they've got some tough road games mixed in there as well. But I like Mississippi State on paper. They look like a pretty solid team with all those returning players and a quarterback that can get it done within Dan Mullen's offense. You can hear some of what Dan Mullen had to say today right below me here as we have our preview of Mississippi State from the head coach right here on this same page. And we will continue with our coverage of SEC Media Days on this Tuesday. Coming up next will be Texas A&M, Kevin Sumlin, and the Aggies will be making the rounds. We'll have that for you later on this afternoon. Stay with us here, sportstalksc.com.